He's coming. He's coming. All right, come here, baby boy. Boy, he's tired. Come here, honey. Can you come? He's still not right. Oh, you don't have to get the ball. It's okay. Come here. Come here to see Mom. Come here. He's still not right, guys. I'm just going to hope that he's tired. But I don't think that's all it is, honestly. I think that it's, his system has really been kicked around a lot. And I'm going to explain to you what happened and what his last couple days have been like. And hopefully that won't happen with you and your pets. That's the whole idea. I wanted to share Gus's story. Gus, can you say hi to everybody? Can you say hi? Say hi, guys. Say, you know what, guys? I really appreciate all the love that you sent me, because I did not like spending the night at the hospital. They just don't give me enough attention there. Oh, I know. All right, I want to say hello to you guys real quick. I'm a bit beside myself right now. I apologize. Hi, Raquel. Thank you. And thanks for bringing the wrench. I love it. Hi, Sarah, SCSB, and Desiree, Debbie Jack, and Mary Stomp. Oh, man. Chloe, hi, honey. And Mary's here. MS Love to Draw, too. Michelle, Aaron, Tegan. Denise is here. Leigh Johnson, hi honey, hi everybody. I'm so glad to see you guys. Sharon, thank you for coming. Sharon, Triple Lotus is here. Debbie Jack's here. Norma, holy moly, Norma, we haven't seen you in so long. We're so glad to see you. Thank you. I'm glad I have you guys here because I really need to share with you what has happened here in the last 48 hours, pretty much. I know that you guys know a little bit about it. You can lay down now, Gus, if you want to. Look. They shaved his paw. They had to. It saved his life. I shouldn't worry about that kind of stuff. So what? He's due for a haircut. Isn't he, Joanne? So I appreciate all the love, guys. I see your comments coming in, and I saw all the comments coming in. Lay down. On our Facebook page, and I get to tell you, this is what happened. I'm going to start from the beginning. I know Miles does, Raquel. Isn't it terrible? But hey, they have to do it. I know. And I also need you guys to come up with the new haircut that Gus is due for a haircut, as you can see. Thank goodness he's not mad, but he is due for a haircut. We were going to do it this weekend when Joanne and I were together, but we ended up spending most of our time taking our time with Rocky, and I'm glad that we did, because the Schnauzer breed standard trim is much more beneficial for her as she's learning to groom dogs than just, trimming up a golden doodle, which really isn't a standard trim. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Renee. Hi, Melissa. I love you guys. And so anyway, we'll be putting a trim on Gus, but now I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about doing something different with his trim that I've never done before, just because his hair's messed up now, and it's a perfect time to change his trim, right? It's messed up because he got his legs shaved. So he says whatever. He says, give me a few days, guys. He says, give me a few days to feel better before Mommy gets me up on that grooming table again, because that's a lot of work, and yeah, I'm still not feeling the best. And no, he is not feeling the best. I can clearly see that after we got him home here. I know he was barking and carrying on constantly at the emergency vet. Every time I talked to them, I could hear him in the background. And they were right there with him, but they weren't with him close enough, apparently. And I get it. I know how he is. He's the same way here. Can you lay down, please, so you can relax? Lay down. Lay down. Yeah, it's a good boy. Okay, he's right here with us, guys. He's just laying down. So, I think he's exhausted for one thing, but what happened was this. Sunday turned out to be an absolutely beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. One of the first days like that we have had in a long, long time. Yeah, he does, Raquel. He loves all of us. And so my family decided to get together up at my mom and dad's place, which is kind of just basically a development of about 10 houses, all of which have more than an acre of property, and the whole development is surrounded by cornfields. So it's very quiet and peaceful up there in that development, if you know what I mean. But it they only have about an acre and a half to 2 acres per property. And like I said, there's about 10 houses there in that development that is completely surrounded by cornfields. So, basically they have a lot of, thank you, Debbie. I know, he's okay. I mean, he's not okay yet, but he is better. So they have a lot of area up there, and Gus is the kind of dog that he's such a good boy, even when we camp. If we just, walk, he walks right with us. If anybody even calls him, he won't go to anybody else unless we say, go ahead. He's very obedient, and that's typical poodle behavior. That's the poodle in our doodles. We can be thankful for that they have poodle in them, because the poodles are extremely loyal, extremely obedient, and very trainable. So that's one reason why we love our doodles so much, guys, is we can thank the poodle in them. So the poodle in him is very loyal. So my niece is there with her golden doodle Jax, my mom's dog Indy, our little buddy Caden, who's 3 years old. He's up there. Everybody came to hang outside and run the dogs and just play outside and do fun things, and we were. So we decided to go for a walk down. There's an access road that goes down this cornfield that borders my parents' property, and it's basically a dirt road, and it just kind of goes in the middle of the field. The fields are big, and Pennsylvania fields are like hilly fields. So anyway, it's very pretty back there. So we decide to take the dogs and us and the people for a walk, and the dogs were in heaven. They were zipping around and running. So we get down the field and we start noticing these little, what looked like kitty litter, but some of it was different colors. Some of it was gray, some of it was blue, speckles, some of it was green. And we're like, well, that's fertilizer. And of course, this time of year, that makes sense. Hi, Dwayne. Thanks for jumping in. Very friendly. He's a doodle. He is what he is. Doodles are so good. But so then I was like, oh no, because we don't know what's in the fertilizer. We don't. And I know that most of it is pretty safe, especially since it's going on our crops, our foods that we're going to eat and whatnot. But you still got to be careful, because dogs and cats will eat anything that they think would be enticing. Look at my cat's tail walking by. She's a stalker. My cat is a stalker. She's stalking us right now. Stalking you guys. You don't even know it. So we decided, okay, we should probably turn around and go back. It's probably not the safest environment. And that's okay. Once we get out of the field, down that access road, then we're back along the property lines, and there's other cornfields, but we can, the dogs then tend to stay in the grass and head right back to mom and dad's. Thank you, Dwayne. And so we turned around, because I know my golden doodle will eat up just about everything. He's a pig. So we turned around, all the dogs were headed back, and we had gone for a nice walk anyway. Plus we were throwing ball with the dogs at mom's house, and I saw Kitty. Yeah, she was stalking us, Desiree. So we start heading back, and we get back to mom's yard, which is big too, and then we're just hanging out and playing out in the yard, throwing ball, playing basketball, and just loving life, man. The dogs were just, they were literally smiling. All the dogs were smiling. They were for the whole thing, they were so enjoying the day. And Gus is the kind of dog that will go find a stick or anything and chew on it, and I'm okay with that usually. I usually pay attention to what he's chewing on, but it was he did go and get a stick at one point, and he was gnawing it up. which is what he does. That's typical. And so we ate dinner together, and then we all came home. We got home probably about 7 o'clock in the evening. We had spent most of the day outside, and we got home about 7. And it's Sunday night. Ouch. Sorry. And Alex and I like to watch The Walking Dead. So we popped the TV on. And I'd fed Gus when he got home. Usually I would feed Gus around 5-ish. And he eats a raw diet. So I fed him when he got home. He had his breakfast before we went. But I knew he would be hungry from all the running that he did and all that. So I fed him and he ate it all up. Took him out like normal to go to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom, did his thing. So Alex and I were sitting watching The Walking Dead, which that doesn't start till 9. So it's 9 or after. And Gus, our other kids were in the house. Some of them are downstairs in the family room. Alex and I were up here in the living room upstairs. 2 of the girls were in their rooms. Everybody's just doing their thing. Gus comes in it looked like he came from downstairs, which is where our other family room is. Is it gone? Hi, Lexi. Okay, thank you, Raquel. Thank you. It may be struggling with my Wi-Fi. It is. God darn it. It is. All right. Hang in there, guys. It says we have poor live stream health, which doesn't surprise me. Everything about this live stream is sort of went poopy. Okay, you're here. Okay. Thanks, Debbie. All right, refresh the page. Good idea. Thank you, Desiree. That's exactly right. So Gus came up from downstairs in the family room, which there's different waste baskets down there. There's one in the family room. There's one in the bathroom down there. He's always trying to get into trash. He's terrible about that. And he'll eat paper towels. He'll eat sanitary napkins, whatever he can find. He's a real pig. He'll eat, if I can't keep the cat litter box cleaned out, he'll eat that too. He's just terrible like that, okay? So that's Gus. He eats everything. And we do have to watch that. So that's something that I want you guys to be aware of, that they, mostly bigger dogs, man, they're just pigs. They'll eat everything, anything. It wouldn't even have to smell good and they would eat it. That's just so dumb, but it's what they do. So he came up and he was chewing on something. And I said to Alex, I thought he had gotten in the cat litter box as usual. And I said, oh, Alex, I said, I think he was down in the cat litter box. And he said, yeah, I think he was. Yep, absolutely, Lexi. He was eating poo-poo. So that's not uncommon for Gus. I didn't think anything more of it. So we had been running all day. Yes, he eats socks. He eats underwear. He'll eat anything if you're not looking. If you're looking, he won't touch it. But as soon as you turn your back, he'll take it. So that is one of the biggest things about having a doodle, guys. He's the second doodle that I've owned, and my other doodle was worse than him about eating things that would be absolutely awful to put into his body. So it's something to be careful of, is just that they are such pigs, So don't ever take for granted the things that they will ingest. They will ingest it. I get you. His belly is really bloated, by the way. I'm feeling it right now. It's really bloated. But they pumped him full of, I'm going to tell you what they put in him. But he's pumped full of stuff right now. So Alex and I go to bed then. Maybe 10:30, something like that. And we get to sleep, and we hear about 3 o'clock in the morning, we hear, Gus is puking. Yes, Desiree, I want to share this story with you guys. And your real live stream is coming. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think we'll do it either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to let you guys choose, okay? I did have a good live stream planned, and I'll tell you where I was at with the live stream when we had to rush out of here. That's another part of the story. Just gets better. So we were supposed to go live on Monday when this happened, and I literally rushed him out of here at 5:30 exactly. on Monday. So he's puking in the middle of the night. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. And he doesn't, he's got a pretty good stomach. But when it comes to eating the cat litter and the turds in the cat box, sometimes he'll throw that up. You know, that'll upset his stomach. Then I'll have to feed him turkey, burger, rice, and pumpkin for a few days to get him back on track. It's terrible. Hi, Sue. Yes, everybody needs to be aware of this. I'm going to tell you some things that I've learned because of this incident with Gus. And let's hope that he's going to be okay. I got to tell you, after bringing him home and hanging with him, he's still not great. I mean, he doesn't have the tremors that he had yesterday, and he's a little bit swayy. He was swaying a lot yesterday. And it just got progressively worse like that. So, get up in the morning, and yes, there's 2 piles of puke in our bedroom. And I just thought, well, the cat litter didn't sit well with him, did it? Yeah. The Kitty Royale, yeah, he didn't like that so much. His belly said no. So, I'm like, all right, well, I got to get ready to go to work, and I don't like him to have nothing in his stomach when I go to work, because he's a big dog, and I try to feed him twice a day to keep his system kicking and keep something in his system. I don't want his blood sugar to tank or anything. So instead of feeding him his full normal raw meal, I just gave him a little bit of the ground turkey. I just wanted him to have something in his belly. The raw ground turkey, which is what he's been eating for the last couple days. I switch it off with pork, chicken, beef, burger. He eats a lot of different things. Ground chicken, ground turkey. So it was ground turkey that he was eating. And he wanted to eat it, but I only gave him just a small portion. I only wanted him to have something in his stomach. So when we went to work, he wouldn't be upset. Hi, Elizabeth, honey. So he ate some of it and he walked away. And I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense. His stomach doesn't feel good. I can totally get it. So took him out, let him go to the bathroom and stuff. And he was very reluctant to do any of his normal routine. In fact, when I called him out when we got up in the morning, I had to call him out from under the bed. And I thought it was because he was upset he thought he did something wrong by throwing up. Not that I yelled at him. I wasn't upset with him at all. I felt sorry for him. I knew his stomach was upset. And so he didn't even want to come out from under the bed that morning. So I still thought that he was acting just kind of shamed. Maybe that's why he's not wanting to finish his breakfast. Plus, obviously, his stomach isn't feeling good. So I was like, okay, you don't have to eat it. I threw it away. Said, let's go on downstairs, go potty before we go into the salon and go to work. So he went out, and he didn't act interested in any of his normal routine. He didn't act interested in going potty or nothing. So I said, all right, well, let's go to work. So we went into the shop, and he went right down, laid down on the floor, and just, he didn't look himself. And the whole time, I'm like, well, it makes sense. His stomach's upset. He don't feel good. I understand. But I'm fortunate enough that I can take him to work with me and keep my eyes on him, which I'm very happy about that. So he stayed in the shop with me all day. We groomed all day. I kept trying to take him out to go potty and stuff, and he wasn't interested. He wasn't interested in getting up. Then about midday, I noticed he was quivering. And I thought, it's because he's sick. And he was drooling, which is not very common for him. So I thought, wow, he's not doing well. Something's really wrong. And I'm like, thank goodness, my work day's almost over. And I can keep an eye on him. So my work day ended. I took him outside again to go potty and to do his thing and everything. And he just stood there. And when he walked, he acted like his feet were on delay. Like this. And I was like, man, you really don't feel good, So now I'm worried, because now we're talking 45 minutes to live stream time. And Alex wasn't home yet. And I didn't really feel comfortable live streaming when I felt that he needed eyes on him. I just thought, if he needs to throw up, or if he's not well, or if he, whatever, he needs somebody to be with him, you know, until I'm done with the live stream, then, you know, I can baby him too. So I call Alex, and I said, where are you at? And he said, I'm about 15 minutes from home. And I said, okay, because I said, and Alex knew he had thrown up and he wasn't feeling good. You know, I kept him abreast to what was going on, and plus he knew he was throwing up in the middle of the night. So Alex says, I'll be home in about 15 minutes. He said, go ahead and take him down with you into the shop and start your live stream, and then I'll watch him closely and take care of him until you're finished, and then you can be with him, and we'll figure out what to do, or what's going on. We still only thought his stomach was upset. That's what we were thinking. So Alex came home. It was about 5:27. I mean, I was literally sitting at my station. The live stream was all set up and ready to go. And I kept calling Gus to me because he was restless. And when he would come over, he would stagger and bump into the wall and the table. And he was staggering, and he was shaking. He was shaking, and he was drooling. And I'm like, something is definitely more than wrong here. I know. Thank you, Erin. We are too. And that's Erin, guys. That's our girl. She live streamed with us 2 weeks ago. So at this point, I should have already been live streaming. Like, I was there, it was set up, but I was looking at him, and I was like, Alex isn't home yet. I can't push the go button yet. I think something bad's going to happen, you know? And I was like, I just can't do it. And Alex walked in. He came right into my shop. And I think it was a minute prior to that, I ended up calling my vet. And I said, something's wrong. I think my dog has eaten something poisonous. And where do I take him? Because I didn't know if they were set up for that, which they're not. So they immediately referred me to the emergency vet, which was about 40 minutes down the road or so. So, yeah, Tegan, we got to do what we got to do, right, Denise? So I got on the horn with that company, with that vet, told them what was going on. They had a lot of questions. They were preparing to, you know, get ready to have him there. And she said, okay, so you do have somebody to drive you, right? No, Melissa. But I'm pretty sure it was rat poisoning. I'll get to that. So, which is like cyanide. Alex came in then, and we took him right to the car, and he couldn't even really walk up the stairs, and he couldn't really get in the car. He was like, at that point, he was staggering and swaying from side to side and quivering. And we later found out those are called tremors. So that's what was going on with him. And so I get in the back with him, and Alex is driving. He puts it in his GPS, because we've never been there. It was down the road a ways. And he's driving, and then the vet's office is telling me that I need to call the Poison Control Center. So that's another thing that you guys should be aware of. There's a poison control that will work directly with your vet if you're treating an animal for a possible poison or toxic situation. So the vet directed me to call them and said, give them the information too, so they can work with us, because apparently they're like a research team that can say, okay, what did he ingest, and this is how we should approach it. So I did that, and they charge you $60 to open that case on the phone. They want a credit card. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay, here it is. So they get the credit card number for Gus to start a case for him. That was with the poison control. And they were very sharp, though, I'll say that. They asked a lot of questions. So they are asking, and all along my mind is going to seeing all that fertilizer on the field, and that knowing that Gus eats everything, you know. So I said, honestly, I think he ate fertilizer from a farmer's field. There were pellets that looked like kitty litter. They were green, they were blue, they were gray, and some of them were like big clumps, like it fell out of the tank. And I said, he could have eaten a whole clump of that, you know, absolutely. And he would do it. I know him. We were watching them, but he's quick, you know, he's a little piggy. So they said, the poison control says, can you find out what it is? They said, we need to know the ingredients so that possibly we know how to attack it. And of course, they're telling me all along, time is of the essence when it comes to poison. So I want to bring that home to you guys too. If you ever think your dog has been poisoned, if they're drooling, vomiting, diarrhea, especially staggering, it's a possibility, okay? Because we all know they eat stuff that we're unaware of, and we never even knew they did it. Get them to an emergency vet, not your normal vet, emergency vet that can handle this, because dog poisoning has to be handled immediately. The longer it goes untreated, the faster it will shut down their organs, their liver, their kidneys, their heart, their lungs, their brain. Okay? It affects all of it because it's running through their bloodstream, and it can affect one organ faster than the other one, depending on your dog's health or, you know, all kinds of variables. So I just want to say, I want to interrupt myself right now and say, if you ever question whether or not your dog was poisoned, please get them to the emergency care center ASAP, because that was very beneficial what we did with Gus yesterday, rushing him out of here and getting him up there. And I will say this, he was already in a bad way, but it happened within about an hour, the staggering, you know, he was kind of drooling all day, then he was shaking, and I thought he just didn't feel good. All this was building up and building up. You know, I don't know why they hid your comment. Did you see that, Raquel? Because you now have, it hid Sue's comment. You can also make them throw up by making them swallow peroxide. You can. I'm a little afraid to do that. But here's the thing with Gus. By the time whatever it was he ate, we're talking it's now 10, 12 hours later. Throwing up's really not going to do it. It's in his bloodstream. It's in his system. Yes, because Debbie says, and dogs have a fast digestive system, it's much faster than ours. Time is of the essence. Absolutely, yes. That's what I want to tell you guys right now. There's no time to waste. If you think, well, we'll let him go all night and see how he feels in the morning if he's been sick for 12 hours. It don't take long for poison to shut down a dog's liver, which is going to shut down his kidneys, which is going to shut down, is going to affect the heart and affect the brain, and that's over. And then it's over. There's no going back. And oftentimes with poison cases, with dogs and cats, if it gets to a certain point, there is no going back. You can't fix it, and you can't save them. So it's scary, Aaron. You're right. It's very scary. So when we got there, he was declining even on the way there. He was like, he couldn't even hold himself up in the car, and he was shaking the whole time and panting. He was upset. He was scared. So when we get in there, you know, they're quick to get on this. They realize it's a poison case. So they took all the information over the phone, mainly on my way there, and they were ready to get started with the treatment. So the doctor comes in pretty quickly. In the meantime, my mom went down to the farmer to find out what was in the fertilizer, because the poison control center said, if you can please find out the ingredients of what it was that may have been in the fertilizer, then we can know how to combat it. You know, so my mom drove down to the farmer's house. Of course, nobody was around. They were all doing, you know, their duties. And she finally found the farmer's wife, who pulled up on a tractor, and she told her what was going on and said, it's possible that this is what he ingested, and maybe it made him sick. And she said, oh my goodness. She said, well, obviously we buy it in huge vlats. You know, and she said, I don't really have a label, because we were supposed to get a picture of the label just to see the ingredients or whatever. And she said, I don't really have that. She said, I know it has potash in it. It has phosphorus. and it has nitrogen in it. She said, other than that, I don't know. So Mom at least gave me that information back, and I relayed that to the Poison Control Center as well as the emergency vet. And the Poison Control Center said, well, fortunately, she said, none of those ingredients should be, lethally toxic to dogs. She said, in fact, it shouldn't really bother them. I said, okay. So it may not have been the fertilizer, but we didn't know, So here's the thing. My parents have lived in this development now for about 18, 19 years. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody that lives there really feels like they're in a rural area because they are completely surrounded by cornfields. Even though they're in a small development, but they have big yards. So there's a lot of vermin. Obviously, when you have a cornfield, you have a lot of mice, you have a lot of rats, you have a lot of groundhogs, in the trenches there of the fields, and people don't want those animals to come into their property and their gardens and their flower beds and wreak havoc. And there's been talk that certain people have actually put poison out to kill these animals. And it's quite possible that that's what Gus ate. Because when we were walking back up the field, we're walking right along everybody's property. And the dogs would, shoom, shoom, and it's like, hey, Gus, come here, get back here. But they're just running. But we don't know what he ate. We don't know what it was. Another thing I want to tell you guys that I learned from the emergency visit is that mold can be life-threatening to a dog. So I said, Gus was chewing on an old stick, and Alex was worried about it because he said that stick just kind of seemed to fall right apart when he was chewing it. He said it's quite possible that it was moldy or had something on it, that could be toxic. And mold can be toxic to dogs if they ingest it. So that was a possibility too. And so at this point, it's either the fertilizer that was on the field, or somebody had rat poisoning put out to keep animals out of their wood piles and out of their gardens, or it was like something from a compost pile. Compost can ferment, which typically doesn't bother dogs because they're designed to eat fermented food. Thank you, Mary. But if it's rotted and there's mold on it, that there could be a problem. So what I want to tell you guys today is, first of all, what I already told you. If you're questioning whether your dog ate something poisonous, don't hesitate to get them to an emergency clinic, and they will, bang, get right on it, because time is of the essence. If your dog is poisoned and you wait too long, there will not be a recovery. I can promise you that. There will not be. It will shut down those organs. And, boy, he's bloated. I'm just feeling him. He is really bloated. So what they treated him with was a muscle relaxer initially. He said they had to get the tremors to stop. Tremors cause his body temperature to elevate, which can affect the brain. He can have seizures. It can just cause brain damage. So the tremors that he was doing could have caused brain damage. So that's why I'm telling you too, don't hesitate. Do not hesitate to take your dog in. So they gave him the muscle relaxer immediately to stop the tremors. And the vet said he was happy with the results of that. He said, now we have a little bit of a time frame here until that wears off. Now we have to treat this. And he said, we're going to treat it as if it's toxic, as if he was poisoned. And said, one way that we have had major success, and of course with catching it in time is always very, very important too. But they inject them with an IV bag of basically fat, lipids they call it. And what that does is, by running that through the body, is it gives the toxins something to cling to, and to not continue to cling to the organs and the other areas that we don't want being attacked by the poisons. So this was the hope that this would work. So they said, we're going to keep him. Obviously, they suggested 2 days initially. They thought he would be in there for 2 days. Hi, Buffy. Yeah, I didn't know most of this, Buffy. This was a learning experience for me. But Tina, I love you, honey. Thank you for coming. And he's still having trouble getting up. He's trying to get up right now. Gus, you okay? I think he's hot. I think he wants to go lay on the kitchen floor. What are you doing, bud? He's not feeling good still. Hi, Tammy. He's still not feeling good. There's no doubt about it. He's in the kitchen now. I think he likes to lay on the cool floor. Grace T. Hi, honey. Hi, Brenda. Oh, I love you guys. I love all of you. Thank you for coming. And thanks for listening, because I want you guys to hear this. So then he said the plan of attack was to pump him full of these lipids. And they were going to give him a full dose of it. And then they were going to take blood and see, because there were concerns with giving him all these lipids. It could affect his pancreas. And Raquel, he could have gotten pancreatitis, which he still can. So we have to keep a close eye on him and watch him now that he's here and see if any vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite happens. So that's one thing we're watching for. He says that shooting him up with that much fat could definitely harm their pancreas. So that's one of the things. There was also a possibility of it harming his lungs. So we do have to watch him very closely, and don't worry, we will be. So the plan of attack was to definitely pump him full of these lipids, test the blood, and then possibly shoot him up with another dose of it. And then test the blood and continue this process till they could see that things were getting back to normal. Hi, Amy, Glass Goddess. How are you doing? Thank you for coming in. So they said they were very comforting there. However, I knew Gus was not going to like to be left behind. He is such a baby. And he was, they brought him back in for us to see him one more time before we left him for the night. And he was very upset because he wasn't at home and he had already been separated from us. So it was kind of hard because he was unhappy and he was sick at the same time. He's shaking and falling, and it was just so, it was so heartbreaking. It really was. And so I kind of wanted that goodbye to be done quickly, because he was just upsetting himself. And so they took him back again, and then we were going up to square away with paying things up and getting situated with our credit cards and everything, and getting ready for a 2-day stay for Gus, because they really kind of thought it would take 2 days till they could let him go. And he was barking and carrying on the whole time. I can hear him back there. And they said to call whenever we wanted. They would give us updates. These poor people work around the clock. You know, they're on 12-hour shifts. So if somebody's with your dog, they're with them for 12 hours, typically at this clinic. And then the next shift comes in, they're with them for 12 hours. So they really, really get close with their patients and understand what's going on with them. They're not just seeing them in passing. You know, it's a good thing. So every time I called him this morning. Guess what I heard? The first thing I can hear when I call, I hear my dog's barking in the background. He didn't like it. I know, Aaron, it was terrible. You would freak out if this happened to Duke. And I was just like, that's Gus. And I knew he was being bad, because even here at home, he is so good as long as he can be right with me. Like, I can walk out anywhere in this property and he'll walk right beside me and stay right with me. As long as he's with me, he's a happy boy. He will be the best therapy dog, and I probably should get him certified as a therapy dog, because, you know, I have time for that. But he would be a good one. And anyways, So and then the doctor called me about 9:30 this morning, and then there again, first thing I hear is I can hear Gus barking in the background. I think he was barking the whole time. I think it has a lot to do with why he's exhausted right now. He was barking the whole time. But he's also exhausted from what his body went through and is still going through. He's not good. I can feel he's really bloated too. That kind of worries me. So the gist of it is that their plan to pump him full of these fats and the lipids, it did work. The trimmers stopped. They stayed at bay. It obviously, collected toxins from further going into his body and organs and doing damage and stuff. I think so too, Bettina. I really do. I hope so. We're going to keep a close eye on him, I promise. So, they didn't even give him the second bag that they anticipated giving him, because they wait and see if the symptoms are there. They test the blood. They do that as well. And they were pretty happy with the results they saw. And they said the tremors went away immediately when they gave him the lipids. So that's a good thing. So I think the biggest takeaway here, guys, is that when we're walking our dogs out and having fun with them in the land, don't ever forget that they will eat anything that isn't nailed to the ground. And even if it is, they'll probably eat it anyway. But don't put anything past them, and understand that there is a lot of toxic plant matter out in the wild too when we're walking on hikes and stuff like that. Dogs are attracted to that kind of nasty stuff. Of course, we know they will eat a dead animal too. I mean, just nastiness. That's what they do. Their stomachs can tolerate a lot of it, but not as much as the dog thinks it can. So I was telling Mom on the way home, I said, yeah, they would eat the nail too, Lexi. Absolutely. And then we would be having them in a surgery for obstructed bowel, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," Bleh. Yeah, I said to Mom, I guess the only thing that could have prevented this, because I'm like, well, how could this be prevented? The only thing that could have prevented this is to actually put a muzzle on my dog when I'm walking him. Hey, not a bad idea. If it keeps him from eating poison, and you're not familiar with the area. Buffy! Oh my gosh, you did not. Buffy just super chatted us. Where's my music? Oh my gosh, where's... Buffy, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not telling you a sob story, silly. That is wonderful. Thank you. You're too much. I know. Buffy's crazy. Buffy's crazy. Thank you, Buffy. But my point is, what I want you guys to know is, gosh, we just set out to have a good time Sunday. The last thing that we thought was it was dangerous for our dog. But we don't know what people put out under their mini barns to kill rabbits and squirrels because they don't want the rabbits and squirrels in their yard. Well, piss off. I'm sorry. That's wrong. And that's quite possibly what happened. And it can happen. But we wouldn't realize it. We wouldn't realize somebody put poison under their mini barn that my dog can get to. And he's going to be enticed to it. I just want you guys to be aware of this. If you're walking them in an area maybe that you're unfamiliar with, maybe we should put a muzzle on them. Maybe we would be safe to do that they can't eat the stuff. Not the ones that, are like nylon. But I have ones in my shop that have full breathing capacity. Like they're open, but the dog can't get anything. They could lick something if they really worked hard. But this is bad for you and Gus. But an awakening, yes, Sue, that's what I'm hoping. And that's why I'm sharing it. Chloe says when Toby was alive, we had to put a muzzle on him because he was eating everything. So, yes, so they did it. And it's, mushrooms, berries, plant matter that is fermenting can be poisonous to dogs. Certain plants are poisonous to dogs. compost is poisonous for dogs if they eat it and it has fermented to the point where it has mold and some bacterias that they cannot fight off. It's Melissa, stop! Oh my God. Melissa, thank you. You're getting a super chat, my little sweetie. I appreciate that. You know I'm sharing this with you so that it benefits you. And that was the first thing I thought of once I got the dog home and fed him. I was like, I want to share this with you guys. For one, I know you were concerned. And that just warms my heart like you wouldn't believe. But two, I know, Buffy, I get a little mad. I shouldn't say things. Oh, God, you guys are crazy. For Gus, thank you. I appreciate it. And it's okay. We're going to get through it. We all get through it, right? But muzzling your dog when you're running through uncharted ground may not be a bad idea. And it's something that I'm certainly going to take into consideration. You know I run him up at the campground and we go off by ourselves around the lake and stuff. And there is things that he could get into that I probably wouldn't even know are poisonous. But like I said, even your dog running the property lines of somebody else's property and their mini barn sits right on the property line and they've got poison under that and your dog just goes in there and takes 2 chomp bites, that could be enough. That could be enough to do what happened to him. It wasn't good. It was terrible. So that's one thing. Another thing we can do to prevent it, I would say, is, you know, when we're out walking, then that would be the one and only time I could say maybe we can use those retractable leashes, because I don't really like retractable leashes. But at that point, you know, Aaron Snader, good grief, you just, oh my goodness, Aaron Snader. You wanted to hear the music, didn't you? I love you, Aaron. And I know you love Gus. No worries. No worries. Raquel Grant! I'm going to end this live stream if you guys don't stop. Oh my gosh. Gus, come here, Gus. You got to see this. I can't get him over here. You're crazy. You're crazy. Wait till I tell hubby go groomer what you guys have been doing. You're crazy. I appreciate it. And I know you love Gus. And I know you love me. And we're doing better things together. We're sharing. And I am so upset that this had to happen. But there was no way that I wasn't sharing it with you guys so that possibly you gained something from it. Renee! Oh my gosh. Go Gus. You have the best mom. Aaron says I need beverages to recover myself. You're right, Aaron. Come over here and hold me. Would you? Renee, thank you. You guys are crazy. But I love you. I do. This is what we do here. I know, Debbie, aren't they crazy? Hi, Bonnie. Yes, Gus is home. He is. And we're going to keep a close watch on him. But we're just trying to discuss, you know, how to keep this from happening. I said maybe a muzzle on your dog when you're out running areas that you don't know what they're going to run into. MS love to draw. Can't figure out how to change the amount. Well, that's okay, Mary. God love you. Your heart's in the right place. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's all good. Stop or I'm going to end the live stream. I promise. It's enough. It is helpful. Very helpful. I appreciate it. But I just want you guys to hear me. I don't want you to fix everything for me. I want you to hear me for your pets. God, I love you. You guys are just way too much. You know, you really are. You're just amazing. And you wouldn't want to see Gus yesterday. There's no way that I would show you pictures of that. It was very, very hard. So just trust me, you wouldn't want to see it, and you wouldn't want to see it happen to your dog. And, you know, maybe we use those retractable leashes when we're out and about on trails and stuff, just so we can really know exactly where they are, what they're putting their nose into, and quickly tell him, that's not happening. You're not eating that, or whatever. You know, Gus would run off 30 feet from me on Sunday, and he'd come right back. Then he'd run up, and he'd come right back. But hey, he ate something. I don't know what. I just don't know. So we can't trust that everybody is safe and not putting poison out under their mini barns. And, you know, a lot of people don't even like stray cats. They think stray cats deserve to die, even though they have no home. You know, what are they supposed to do? Where are they supposed to survive? They're strays. You know, and they keep reproducing because, hi Terry, they keep reproducing because that's what animals do, you know. Aaron, you guys. Salute. You're crazy people. You really are crazy. I'm telling you, you guys are crazy. You're making my day. This is fun. I'm gonna quit before everybody goes bankrupt. That's crazy. You guys are the best. But hey, listen, please share this information with your friends and your family. What happened with Gus? We were out having fun on a run, and we had a great time. We were all smiles, and he was so happy and free. All the dogs were. And then when we left him last night at the emergency vet in the state he was in, all I could keep thinking about was all that fun that we had. There's a price to pay, you know? That's the price to pay. My dog may die because we were enjoying the outdoors. And that made me so mad. So mad. It's not good. Hi, APE Dog Grooming. I'm glad you stopped in. Bettina says I can't figure out how to donate. Well, then don't. You're fine. You crazy people, I love you. And just share it with, listen to what I'm saying and keep it from happening to your babies. We all love to go out in nature on a beautiful day and walk our dogs. Usually we like to go in a place where we haven't walked before because that's like an adventure, you know, of course. But geez, the troubles that are waiting there for our dogs. Look up online about things that are toxic to dogs so that you know. Triple Lotus! You crazy girl, you! Thanks for sharing your story. This may save other dogs from the same fate. Love you and Gus. You crazy, crazy critters, you! That's for Triple Lotus. Debbie Wolf, you doing it too? I think you guys are just having too much fun. Thank you, Debbie. I can't wait to tell Gus when he wakes up what you guys did. He is out. That boy is tired. I know. We love you, Amy. So happy. Got to meet you. Oh, I'm so happy that we all met each other too. You got to understand that. Raquel says, I know exactly how it felt. Went through the same thing with Miles. Miles was terrible sick about a month ago or so. Turns out it was pancreatitis. MS Loves to Draw is still clicking buttons saying, you are amazing. You are crazy, lady. You give those girls a hug for me, would you? Tell those girls they have an awesome mama too. Because I know you would never let anything like that happen to your girls. You put up that kennel so the hawks can't get them. I love it. It's perfect. I love it. You're the best. You're all the best. Bonnie says, so horrible, poor Gus. I lost my dog right after Christmas to rare juvenile bone cancer. That's horrible. It was hard to lose our fur baby. I'm so happy Gus is okay. Thank you, Bonnie. I know how that feels. I lost my last golden doodle to bone cancer. He was 8 years old. He was fine. He was wonderful, and he, there again, loved life. Happy guy running around. All of a sudden starts limping. it was bone cancer. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. Sorry, that's my daughter. I will come and get you. She said practice. So let's just try to keep them safe. You know, let's maybe put them on a retractable leash so they do have some freedom. They have some roaming time that they can roam and run. But I gotta tell you, there's nothing like watching your dog run free. And you can only ever do that in certain places that are safe for them. But I found out Sunday, every place isn't safe for them. You know, it isn't. Now, it could have been something he ate here. I wouldn't know what. We have no toxic decon or anything like that around our house. I don't know what could have done it here. He did go down and eat something. He might have ate something out of the cat litter box because his stomach was upset. And that would be just like him to do that. You know, of course, if his stomach wasn't upset, it would be just like him to eat yucky stuff anyway, let me tell you. So muzzle them, possibly, if your dog is the kind of dog like Gus that will eat everything unless it's nailed down. Keep them on a retractable leash. Look up the things that are toxic and poisonous to our animals out in the wildlife. Do a little research on how common it truly is that people actually put cyanide and decon under their mini barns to poison small animals. Look at that. Look how common that is. You're going to get really mad. And maybe we can find ways to detect this stuff, you know? We got to get on that. We'll figure out a way that we can detect this stuff. There's got to be ways. This technology has come way too far that we are going to continue to suffer from stuff like this. We got to be able to fix it. Chloe says, I have to go, but thank you for sharing the great reminder for all pet owners. Absolutely, Chloe. And Chloe has a Bernedoodle, and she loves Gus. And I'll give him a big hug from you, Chloe. You got to come and see us, okay? These doodles will eat everything. And I will keep you guys posted in our Facebook group on how he's doing, you know, throughout the rest of the night. He's still sleeping. He's over there sleeping. She says, did they send him home with any meds? No, they didn't. Why did that take Sharon's comment away? See how this... No, we'll give it back. I don't know. YouTube's a little finicky. They didn't send him home with any meds to take. They were talked about possibility of doing that. The lipids, they were going to send in pill form, but they didn't. They felt that they monitored him sufficiently without, you know, after they were pulling him off the IV that was the lipids. He had a whole list of things that was on his sheet that they gave him. They even gave him gabapentin, which surprised me. They gave him a muscle relaxer. They gave him trazodone, I think it was, which is like anxiety because they said he was barking and crying and carrying on and drooling all over himself because he can't stand to be away from his family. He is very needy. He has separation anxiety, and he always has. His appetite, when we got home, Raquel, I fed him right away because he didn't eat. No, it's Trazodone or Done or something like that, Lexi. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for the super chat. I love you. She says, I gotta run. It's no problem. Thank you for listening to the message today. That's the important thing. Yeah, he got a muscle relaxer. That was what they initially stopped his tremors with, and then they started giving him the IV lipids. Norma! Gosh, you guys. I love you. Thank you very much. I love you. Oh God, Aaron's texting me to pick my child up. No, Alex is picking her up. Okay, I'm confused. There's too much going on right now. His appetite is not great right now, Raquel, but he definitely ate. I gave him the pumpkin rice and boiled turkey burger in with that. And that's what he ate when he got home. And he ate it slow, but he ate it until it was all gone. And I know that it doesn't have a lot of calories or anything in it, so I'm going to give him a few hours of rest, and I'm going to give him another small portion of that, and then just keep kind of building him back up. I'll probably have him on that for a couple days because I can't imagine his stomach is feeling happy. It can't be. So I'm going to treat it as if, you know, when our dogs get upset stomach, we usually do the boiled rice with the chicken or boiled burger. But I throw pumpkin in there too, canned pumpkin, because it's supposed to help make their upset stomach calm down. And if they have loose stools, which he didn't have loose stools, it really surprised me. Really surprised me. So I'd say we're on the right track, but I could definitely see him when he was walking here. When I called him over to me, he acted like he wanted to walk, but he was either just way too tired, which that's never Gus. If I call him, he's usually right to me. So he's just exhausted, or he's still not feeling great. I can tell you he's feeling better. I could tell that on the way home that he was feeling better. He really wasn't panting. He was happy and smiling. Of course, he shot out of there like a rocket, you know, when I opened the door to walked out of the place. He was happy. He's like, yeah, let's go home. I love everyone's support for Amy and Gus. Me too, Raquel. I love all of you guys. You all support me all the time. And I really appreciate what you did here tonight. And I know you did it because you really feel very happy about the outcome for Gus. And you're hoping that we can prevent this from happening to anybody else's dog, which is exactly the reason why I wanted to do this live stream. And I want to thank you guys for being so patient with me and waiting for me to figure out how to get this thing going, because I created a new event. I couldn't get it to go live through my OBS, so I had to go back and change everything out that I was going to do for Monday's live stream. So anyway, we got here. That's the important thing. We met up here. We are better together, sharing our stories and sharing what it is that we're doing. And I want to thank you guys for that. And I want to thank you for all being wonderful pet owners and for being compassionate people that you are. Because it is people like us that is going to make this world a better place. And we are. And we're going to make it better for pets too. Because that's what we do. That's where we come in. Hi, Callie. So glad Gus is feeling better. He absolutely is feeling better. Absolutely. Sharon says, Amy, you look tired. I am. I did not sleep good last night. I didn't sleep much at all. And I had, like, my legs were twitching. I don't know what it was, nerves or something. But I certainly felt better after I found out that I was going to be able to go get him this afternoon. And I cleared the second half of my schedule at work. I worked this morning, and then my client had 3 dogs, was coming in at 12, and he gladly said it's cool, we're going to groom them on Friday. So, and they're a pretty motley crew, but they're fun. Hi, Elizabeth, how are you? And oh, Bettina, she figured it out. Bettina, all the way from Germany, she worked hard to figure that out because it's probably different on her end. Thank you, Bettina. I love you, and I know that you guys are here for us, and you are also all here for each other. That's why we're here, and I love it. I just love it, what we're doing. You did it, Bettina. Look at you. Don't ever doubt yourself again, Bettina. You are doing amazing things over there in Germany, and we're benefiting from it all over here in the U.S. from just having you with us. Bettina's a groomer in Germany, guys, by the way. You and Gus take a big nap together? Well, we will. I'm not a big napper. I'm not able to sleep unless it's dark. It's weird. But I want to let you guys go because I don't want you to spend any more money. I really appreciate that. I love you all very much. And I love your pets. And I know you love me and my pet. And I appreciate that so much. That's what I want you to really know. I know you love us. And I know that you guys, I could feel the positive energy coming from you guys when we were dealing with this with Gus, having him there last night. It was a very scary thing, waiting for the phone to ring with bad news, you know. It was just so scary. But that did not happen because of all your positive energy. So I want to thank you guys. I want to tell you that I love you. I will post when I will give you your real live stream that we were going to do on Monday, your live salon tour of my salon. I had everything ready to roll. I was excited. But then this happened. So it's either going to be tomorrow or Thursday at our normal time, which is 5:30. But I will announce it. I'm leaning towards Thursday, okay, guys? Just so you can have a good idea. Hi, Aaron. I saw you texted me. I think you said about picking Bailey up. I think we got it covered. But so I'll let you guys know about the live stream on probably Thursday. I will, if you haven't joined our Facebook private group, please look it up. Go Groomer private Facebook group and request to join, because I would love to have you guys there. It's an easy way for me to inform you guys of everything. Hi, Brenda, Trisha. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Trisha. It's okay. I want you to go back and watch, Trisha, because I shared some good information about what we went through here with Gus and how possibly we could have prevented it. And all the chat, there was some good information in the chat, which I'm going to have to go back and reread because I can't kind of keep up with everything when I'm live streaming. So I thank you guys again. I love you very much. I thank you for, obviously, you're very generous with, wanting to help. And I appreciate that. And I didn't want you guys to do that. I know that you appreciate anything that I share that is benefiting our pets. And this live stream, I think, could benefit our pets. So I want to thank you guys. I'll see you in the next day or so with a real packed live stream and hopefully a healthy golden doodle who's ready to show his face and get off the kitchen floor. All right. I love you guys. I will see you then. You want a subscriber showdown? I'll throw one down for you because I love you that much.
Thank you.